What's up guys, Dirk here with a long overdue update. I haven't made a video in a couple of weeks here on the channel because I've been traveling and things have been a little bit difficult to actually make videos. So now I'm in a place where I actually have access to a studio and I can actually sit down and make this update. Obviously over the past 2 weeks since I didn't make those updates, we have seen quite a bit of activity here in the markets. We saw Bitcoin drop, and technically I'm going to show you here in the charts on the weekly and the 3-day chart, we do have a bearish signal here. And is that the start of a new bearish trend that's going to get us to revisit the lows first? Or is this a bear trap? I'm going to share my thoughts with you. So let's dive straight into the charts. Okay, so we have Bitcoin here at 26,400. And depending on which chart that you actually look at, the price went into the 24,000s on a wick on BYBIT. Now on the Bitstamp chart, the one that I have in front of us, it didn't go quite as low on the wick. So we have to see, what is the real price actually going to be. And we are here now. And the key thing is you can see this is the weekly chart, the 200-week moving average, which held as support. Here in 2018 and 2020, it wicked below there, got back above there. And we spent quite a bit of time here below in the 2022 bear market. And we reclaimed it at the beginning of this year, which was good for the bulls. We got a bit of a fake out over here in June, and then a shot back above it. And now we have closed back below it with one weekly close, which is not what the bulls want to see, because losing this moving average can be a bearish signal. Now it can be another trap here, just like it has in the past. Sometimes it just goes above here, like here. This was a bull trap and it went down below. In the inverse, it could be a bear trap, could spend 1-2 weeks below it and then reverse back up. But it is something we need to pay attention to, because now we have to consider there's a potential bearish reversal until we get a reclaim of this. Okay, so there could be some fake outs. It's not a guaranteed thing that we go all the way back down, but getting below this 200-week moving average with a close below it increases the chances of the trend flipping to bearish. Now switching this over to the 3-day chart, this looks more bearish than the weekly chart in my opinion, simply because of the system that I like to follow with the 3-day 50 moving average here in blue. And my system that I used to go by for trend reversals is 2 consecutive closes above or below for a trend reversal. And that has worked very, very well in the past. You can go and backtest this. You can go and see. Over here, you can see once we cross bearish below it, we did not get 2 consecutive closes above it, and the trend remains bearish all the way. Even here, it was not 2 consecutive closes above it. So this system would have allowed this whole bearish trend to play out without giving a confirmed bullish signal. Then over here at about 21,000, we got 2 confirmed closes above it, and since then we had a long bullish trend that ultimately took us just shy of 32,000. So as you can see now, and what's tricky here is we got these 2 closes, but very recently before that we got the golden cross over here on the 3-day moving average on the 3-day chart, right? So while the 3-day golden cross is a long-term bullish signal, generally speaking, of course it can be a reverse too, the 2 consecutive closes below the 50 moving average is bearish. So we are in a conflicting area, and basically you can see here this bounced off here, and here we did not get 2 consecutive closes below. Now we have 2 consecutive closes below. So just according to the system, we have to follow the possibility that the trend is now bearish on the 3-day chart, and until we reclaim this 3-day 50 moving average, which is completely a possibility, we have to go by potentially this is bearish until invalidation. So we could be looking for lower until we get a reclaim of 28.5k, which could really happen, in a matter of days or even a week or 2. It could completely flip back up and continue going higher, making this a very tricky bear trap where everyone thinks it's going lower, which a lot of indicators and signals are basically flipping towards bearish now. If this reverses back up, it would be a massive bear trap and then continue higher. So what I think we have to do is simply here be patient. We have to expect that there is an increased chance now that there is a bearish reversal, and we might continue lower still, okay? So until we reclaim 28.5k, chances that there is more downside coming. And if it does go down, just like in 2019, I do believe it is short term, okay? It is going to be short lived, very likely just a matter of several months at most, because we have the Bitcoin halving coming up in April. So that's 8 months away. So if we do go down, yes, there's a possibility we retest the lows or maybe even fill this 12K fair value gap over here. That could be the ultimate bearish scenario, okay? But it doesn't necessarily have to happen. If it happens, I think it's short-lived. I think it's going to be a massive buying opportunity, okay? So, of course, you want to make sure your risk is managed as always with any investment or trades. You want to make sure that even if it does go down to 12,000 in the short term, that you are not going to be in real financial difficulties, right? That's why you limit your risk to what you put into crypto. You make sure you're not heavily over leveraged and that you can withstand that, or maybe you want to short it as a hedge or whatever your strategy is, that's a possibility. But to make sure that even if it goes to 12,000 in the next few months, that you're going to be okay, that your investments are going to be okay, that you might even have risk capital available to purchase that dip, because just like in March of 2020, see over here, that ended up being the ultimate buying opportunity before this massive increase over here in the markets. And I do think, again, something similar would happen if we were to go down back to the lows or to 12K. That might just end up being the ultimate buying opportunity before the bull market starts around about the halving, or maybe after the halving, maybe even before the halving. So right now, there's still a lot of possibilities, and that's why I like the strategy of if then. Okay, so if we reclaim 28.5, this 3-day 50 moving average, then I think the possibility increases that we are going to 32.4, 35, maybe even 48, continuation of the bullish trend. But as long as we are below it now, we have to consider the fact that we could potentially go lower, and maybe a retest of the lows is still a possibility. One thing that is very key to this whole direction of Bitcoin, of crypto, of the stock market is the dollar index. And I've made videos here on the channel before. I will link to it in the description down below. You can just search on the channel. And there's an inverse correlation between crypto and the dollar index, and also with the stock markets. But let's just focus on crypto alone. So typically speaking, when the dollar index moves down on the weekly in a larger trend, then we see crypto go up. Now you can see we've seen crypto go down lately, dollar index has been going up. Now, what I'm looking for, and hopefully this is going to happen, is we got the sweep here of these little highs over here. Hopefully we get this reversal back down. If we get that on the dollar index, then it is very likely that Bitcoin and crypto, and obviously the stock market and gold and euro, US dollar, everything inversely correlated to the dollar index is going to go higher, right? That's what we're looking for. The dollar index continues going higher here, then we are most likely going to see crypto and all the others go lower. Okay, so we are in a tricky scenario and a bit of a difficult spot technically to be able to make a decision on where the markets is going. So the next couple of weeks are going to be very crucial. I will be back to making more regular updates now, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel down below. Smash the like button to be able to keep track of my updates. But this is what we're looking. So I would say keep an eye on the dollar index chart. I think that's the important thing right now. If this breaks down and starts a new leg down and lower, which I do still expect on the chart, don't know if it's going to happen now or several weeks or several months from now. But if it happens now, it is likely going to be good for crypto, bullish, right? So we're probably going to see the reclaim of the 3-day 50 moving average if we see this break down. If we see this continue going higher, then we are probably going to see Bitcoin and crypto continue lower. So keep an eye on this. I think that's basically the best way I can sum it up right now. We're in a tricky spot. It can go both ways, but based on the Bitcoin chart and the 3-day chart, we are now leaning more towards the bearish side until we get that invalidation of reclaiming the 3-day 50 moving average. For the dollar index, keep an eye on it. If it does reverse over here and it continues to drop, we are likely looking at a more bullish scenario in crypto. Again, if it continues higher, probably more bearish. So let's see how this plays out over the next week, the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we have the monthly close coming up within the next 7 or 8 days or so. And that's going to be telling too, so I'll do a monthly update on the 1st of September. Let's see where this is going to go. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe down below.